Greetings, fellow citizens of the Interpubs. This is Rendog coming at ya in another Minecraft episode from the HermitCraft server. We're kicking things off today, everybody, from the base of the Skizzle face, and more importantly, at the entrance to Skizzleman's season-long project, the Pyramid of Self-Discovery, I suppose. This is an amazing project that Skizz has put together for us hermits, and it is essentially a mini-game based on Maslow's Pyramid of Needs, or as far as I understand it, that's what it's all about. So this experience might be a very serious experience. It might be an unserious experience. I actually have no idea what to expect from the pyramid. And I think I'm going to dedicate this entire episode to going through this with you guys from the very bottom to the very top. I've personally not watched any other hermits go through the pyramid yet, so I have no idea what is waiting for me inside of this thing. And of course, as I threw my head into the pyramid a few weeks ago, there is a part of the pyramid that has been catered specifically for me. And I am very excited to see what that is all about. So, without further ado, everyone, this should be a very interesting episode indeed. And I guess I'll see you all on the other side. Right, everyone, the stars are out on the server. I have derobed and set my spawn. And it feels like the right time to get into this pyramid and go through this process. I'm alone on the server this morning. It's nice and early on a Tuesday. It's raining outside. It's a rainy summer's day here in England, and this feels like the perfect vibes to enjoy, well, whatever has come out of Skizzle's brain and arrived in this magnificent structure. Let's get going. The sign says look. Oh, I do have an epidemic account, so that's going to be an up. Excellent. Welcome to the physiological layer. Your task is to live. These are obviously some sort of breadcrumbs that we need to follow, so let's go through this. Darkness has completely descended here. Here you will find you only care about one thing. Survival. Breathe, eat, survive. Life's basics. Okay, so we're going all the way back to the very basic things required for us to exist. And this feels like a system that we have to use to swim. All right, so I'm assuming we're trying to get through a maze or something. That's the first thing that I thought of. And yeah, I guess we're going to be drowning.
Oh, your lungs, they feel depleted. For air you yearn. Around that turn, keep it moving, lest be defeated.
Oh, no.
Why am I a pirate?
No. Well, we haven't done too well so far. Died on the very first attempt to survive. Oh no, oh no. I've come into the wrong thing again. I'm dead again. Okay. We have to find a different route, perhaps. Right, back into the maze we go. Gonna follow the left-hand wall this time. See if that can get us out. I don't think I went this way last time. And hopefully we oh, I keep coming into the same entrance here. Oh, there we go. We got out. Okay, well, that was very strange, but here we are. We got to hold shift to keep ourselves alive in this next section. Air, sweet air, up you go. Step cautiously now. Right, well, to not take damage on these magma blocks, we have to keep holding shift. And we're getting into this next portion with only 4 lives, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get up here fast enough. But I do know the route of how to get back here now, so hopefully, oh, geez, even if I die again, I should be able to get back up here one more time. I don't think I can shift jump this. I actually have to stop pressing shift and then jump, and then press shift again. Okay, so we come all the way to the edge of the block, unshift, jump and shift, and hopefully, if we do this correctly, we don't take any damage. Yes, indeed. Okay, I'm guessing that we're not going to manage to regen in any way. And every move we make has to be done perfectly. Okay, I think I'm picking up what Skizz is putting down here. We've got to make sure that everything we do in the pyramid is done correctly, and each step we start to take a little bit of cumulative damage. And that is very interesting indeed, because that makes me think a lot about something that I've been working on in my own life over the last year and a half or so. Been really trying to focus a lot on my physical well-being, with the thinking being that with a healthy body comes a healthy mind, and with a healthy mind comes a healthy life. And it's sort of a chicken and egg scenario, right? Skizz, I'm trying to be serious over here, man. Shut your mouth. But yes, you know, for us to be successful in life, it's very important that the machinery that is us, the physical version of us, is functioning at the highest capacity that it can be. And that means starting at the very, very bottom, the basics of things. For if your brain is to be functioning at full capacity, it needs to be fed correctly by the fuel that your body takes in. And for your body to be functioning at its best capacity, it needs to be fed with the correct fuel and kept fit and well. And I guess that's what this level of the pyramid is all about. Every time we sort of miss a step, I guess, at the very beginning of the pyramid, so looking after ourselves physically, it is sort of accumulative damage for later parts of the pyramid, right? As we move our way up, if we've done damage to ourselves all the way at the very beginning, in the basics of it all, which is health, eating, right, fitness, getting good sleep, etc., all of the damage we do at the very bottom adds up at the very top. And that is a fascinating insight that this pyramid has made me think about. Nice one, Skizz. I'm already starting to think a little bit thanks to this. And, of course, that's not to say that we're all perfect and we can all do everything perfectly, but as long as we're learning along the way, and as long as every time we try to make our way up that pyramid again, we take a little bit less damage at each step, as we have done here, and eventually we might get to the top with as little damage as possible. Speaking of as little damage as possible, that jump is a meanie. And that certainly does do quite a bit of damage if you miss the water. But we're here with 3.5 hearts, which is interesting, and oh, we've got another little swim thing that we need to do. Okay, cool. So we're back into the water. This time I'm going to just instinctively go to the right and see what happens. Looks like it's a dead end here, but perhaps it was correct. Running out of air. Here we go. Oh, we made it. Nice. Took half a heart of damage as we came out into the berry shrub, but it does say, get your fill of the berries, but don't break them. Okay, so this is kind of the checkpoint, I suppose.
Ouch, looks like a tiny stabbing. Keep on going with vain bestowing and leave behind my endless blabbing. Yeah, that's pretty good.
You know what, while I'm munching on these berries, trying to get back up to full life, I think I'm going to compare some of these moments in the pyramid to my own life. And throughout those first obstacles, where I took some damage on the magma cubes and did a little bit of drowning, I'm going to compare those to the moments over the last year or so where I kind of slipped out of my my drive to eat a little bit more healthy. There's been periods in the last year that I will admit that, let's just say I've had a little bit too much ice cream. Or, you know, for a couple of weeks, I've suddenly got into a bad habit of eating a chocolate bar every day when I go for a walk. I just quickly pop into the corner store, get a nice chocolate bar, have a munch of that. And at the time, my thinking was, oh, well, I'm walking now. I'm burning some calories. It's okay. This chocolate bar is not the end of the world. But what eventually happened over time was the one chocolate bar a day turned into a chocolate bar a day and a bit of ice cream at night. And that ended up turning into one chocolate bar on the walk, one little bit of ice cream at night, and maybe a little bit of ice cream just before bed. And after a while of this, I was suddenly back to having fairly bad eating habits. And quite interestingly enough, I ended up in a room similar to this, where I realized I needed to give up all of the chocolate and the ice cream, but my hearts were so low that I had to spend extra time trying to get back to where I was before I started eating the chocolate and the ice cream. Just like I've had to spend quite a few minutes in this room munching on these berries. So, I have no idea if that was Skizz's intention, but I certainly feel like I have had the exact experience with ice cream and chocolate over the last couple of weeks. And you know, I'm going to blame the trip to Seattle for that, because in Seattle, I was very naughty and had quite a lot of bad junk food to eat. And when I got back from Seattle, I just sort of carried on going in those habits. So maybe something for me to learn. Don't let the habits latch on too hard. Enjoy yourself and have a nice thing to eat every now and then, but don't let it take over your life. Lest you be trapped in a room like this where you have to spend many weeks undoing all of the damage that you did in the first 2 rooms of chocolatey and ice creamy goodness. On to the rest of the pyramid we go. Oh, I suppose we're not supposed to take any berries with us, right? I'm going to assume that that is the way that it's supposed to work. So, no more berries with us, and onwards to the next thing. I'm assuming there's checkpoints at the end of each pyramid, but wow, this is crazy. What is happening here? High is the way, but all eyes upon the ground. Okay, that feels like a hint that we need to look downwards. This is going to be powered with snow that's going to be freezing us. I'm assuming we need to look down as we go into this block. I suppose we'll see stuff? Wait a minute, what's happening here? Okay, I think there are sort of checkpoints here that we can get to. Look downwards. Wait a minute. Oh, it looks like we need to find our way through. Is there any clues or something that we can use here? If we're looking downwards, we can see all the particles coming up. Does that give us any clues? Oh, these particles have changed, right? The particles change color almost? This feels to me like it is the way to go. I don't know if we're going to get there in time, though. Hopefully, no. Okay, is there any other way to go? Oh, look, the particles do change in color. I hope I can remember the way that this goes, because I think I'm dead. Nice. Okay, interesting. I'm trying to figure out if there is some sort of... Oh, geez. Okay. That made us just fall straight through the thing. Whoops, you fell. No worries. The key is to look up and don't hurry, it says. All right. Interesting. That's going to take us all the way back to the beginning. This all looks fairly safe. And if the key is to look up, then we can potentially spot some things on the ceiling. I see it now. We've got clues on top of the roof, which tells us where to go. And that is very, very cool. I'm going to go diagonal here, it looks like it. And diagonal here, it looks like it. And then all the way to this. Want to look straight up, I think. And I guess we keep eating these berries to keep us alive. Well, it looks like I'm just going to have to end this one and try again. But I feel like I've kind of figured it out now. So, yeah, we're going to stock up on quite a few berries, I think. And try get our way through this thing. You know, another very interesting thing I've learned about this floor of the pyramid is that the more you do the bottom level, the better you get at it. And that is certainly a metaphor for getting healthy. You know, if you're trying to get healthy and trying to exercise and eat right, you often stumble and you have to go all the way back to the beginning again, but you start to get better and better at it as you do it over and over again. And you know what? I find that kind of inspirational. You know, it's very easy to return to the very beginning again over and over when you're trying to get healthier. You know, you put in a couple of good weeks of hard work and you're eating well and you're exercising, and then suddenly you end up eating chocolate and ice cream again. And you go all the way back to the beginning. But the next time around, maybe you eat less chocolate and less ice cream and you do less damage. And I find this quite inspiring, actually. This metaphor of restarting, but getting better at things every time you restart. This is the most amount of hearts that I've returned to the berry room with. And that means I am... oh, no. I broke everything. I broke everything. My metaphor sucks.
Ouch.
All right, just repaired what I broke and back into the maze for another attempt. And I've had another very interesting realization about this portion of the pyramid, the basic survival portion. This process that I'm going through right now, doing things over and over again, breaking stuff, repairing stuff, I mean, this is basically going to the gym. This is basically preparing a healthy meal every day. This is basically going to sleep every night at a good time and looking after your sleep health. All very tedious and all takes a very long amount of time and all is very repetitive. But super important to get oneself into a rhythm when working on one's personal health. Now, of course, one of the great advantages of doing the same thing over and over again is that you start to get really good at it. And I think I have managed to nail down a technique for this room that is finally going to get me through this portion of the pyramid. Just going to keep my crosshair on these blocks on the roof and just trust my feet are going to go in the right direction. And that seems to be working out for me quite nicely. Quite interesting, in fact, and perhaps a suggestion that there will come in times in life where you just need to trust yourself. Keep looking forward and keep pressing on, and the rest of the body will follow, so to speak. Although I just kind of messed that up right there. But this technique is definitely working better than anything else I've tried, and I think it's because I'm blabbling on at you guys that I messed that one up. So I'm gonna focus up here. Let's get through this thing. Just made it with one heart remaining. Oh, absolutely amazing. That feels so good. And, well, it certainly does feel good when you put your mind to something and you just keep on going. And when you get there, it just, oh, what a great feeling that is. So, first time into this section of the pyramid. One small slip and all is lost. Slow and steady, it says. Okay, well, it looks like we're back into a very treacherous maze situation over here. And certainly we often find ourselves in these sort of situations in life. Completely surrounded by lava, and one small slip could equal some damage being done. In this case, we are definitely dying if I touch this lava, but perhaps in life it's not quite as dramatic as that. But certainly a lesson to be learned here, right? Sometimes it's much better to just go slow and steady through things, especially important things that might be coming up in your life. Don't rush those things. Take them one little footstep at a time, he says, as he dies in lava. I literally thought it was impossible to get to this room without losing a heart, but guess what? It is 100% possible, and the reward is that we get to take some berries into the next room. And that feels incredible, especially considering I have now figured out this puzzle, and I think I can get through this in one piece. Oh man, this feels so great, guys. Absolutely nailing it now. We're about an hour and 20 minutes into this recording, by the way, so this has certainly not been an easy task, but I am determined to get through this and to get to the top and to make my way through my own pyramid and to discover hopefully some new things about myself and perhaps some things I knew about myself before but I have forgotten. And I think that therein lies some very important lessons for us all to learn. So, yeah, let's get back to the lava maze and to the next portion of this wonderful experiment. Wow, the ambience in this place is absolutely incredible. It's so cool. I've just been doing this now silently for a little bit, and it's really made me focus and think a lot about this experience. It's been so great, and I'm having a great time. Although we've arrived at what looks to be a very tricky little spot indeed. I've got to jump into this very small block in the middle of this lava pool, and I suppose we can take something quite important from this exact moment. Sometimes in our life, there come moments where we have to be very brave. And these moments occur all the way through our lives, all the way from the beginning, all the way to the very end. There come situations in life that are very difficult to face, and sometimes we all just have to try and be as brave as possible, and we have to try and jump over the lava and land on the block in one piece. And that's exactly what we have to do here. Right, I'm going to trust my instinct, trust my skill, and see if I can get this to work. There is no lava. There is no lava. Woo, man. What a jump that was, although it hasn't ended. There are a few more jumps to go. Interesting. I think this one we could do diagonally, which should make it a little bit easier to get over. And that is 2 incredibly difficult obstacles completed. And one final one to do. We have to perfect a little jump and fall, it looks like it. Perfect aim is what you need. Once you hit the water, do not slow down. Keep moving and look for the bubbles to buy time. Wow. Okay, this is getting intense. Straight through the middle here we need to go. I guess this needs to be like a very little hop. And with some directions. That was something. That got my heart racing, guys. Oh, goodness. Right, we need to look for the bubbles, it says. There's some bubbles and some respite, some air for us to breathe. Whew, man. This is absolutely insane. Right, we got to follow the bubbles, I guess. Whenever there's bubbles, we're okay. That allows us to breathe. And we're going to swim all the way through here into what looks to be a dead end here, but that's okay. As long as there are bubbles, I can keep breathing and keep going. Although it looks like I might have gone in the wrong direction here. Let's explore a little bit further down. This is where we came up. I suppose this is just like a breathing room, it feels like it, right? Just a place to come and get some air. And not to take damage. Taking damage bad. If we go all the way back down here, did I miss a corridor or something? No, I didn't. Okay, so it's definitely in this kelp room. There is something that we need to work out. And I need the bubbles again. Oh, I think I found the way out here, but we are going to need full oxygen for this. That took a while of swimming around and testing things, but yeah, this looks like the spot. Although I lost a lot of hearts in that chamber that I didn't need to. You know what? I actually started panicking a little bit, and I wish I had just kept my cool and kept my calm during that moment. But yeah, something made me just start panicking. I guess the fear of the unknown. In a new part of the pyramid, I had no idea what the task was, and if I had just kept a little bit calm, I would make the next part of the pyramid easier for myself. Perhaps a lesson for myself to learn. When going into something new with a lot of energy and a lot of strength, stay calm. Don't lose the energy, don't lose the strength unnecessarily, because it'll make whatever is on the other side of the new thing a little bit more difficult to handle, which is what I now have to do. Welcome to Shelter and Security. We've made it to the next level of the pyramid, everyone. Use the structures around you wisely. Interesting. So I'm assuming here, in Maslow's pyramid, once you have sorted out your basics, your survival, it's all about shelter and security next. And it looks like we have to dodge this very evil skeleton here. That seems to have an extremely powerful bow indeed. And that was a very scary little moment. Amazing. And there's another one here too. Okay, so this is all about the dodging and the weaving of the skills of the dodging and the weaving. Keeping that skeleton out of fire shot. You missed me, you fool. You missed me. Okay, there's more. And, well, interesting. We get to see through the glass here, which is cool. And I think it looks like we're running all the way to the different glasses, potentially. Oh, he got me. He got me in the back. And that was an absolutely massive hit. And we're down. All the way back to the bottom again. All right, we're back to the skeletons with a decent amount of life. It's been tricky, and it's getting trickier. Although I think this part is relatively okay. Okay, hold on, we can just do some dodging and running. Okay, nice. Oh, there's more. My goodness, this is so tough. Okay, so looks like there's a little window to get to. Wow, that was very close. A little safe house over here. Very nice. Close that up. And I think we just want to wait for this fella to get all the way there. Oh my goodness, he snuck a shot through there. 1 heart is all I've got left. And no idea what's going on over here, but it looks like these skeletons are going to be pinging us as we run past. I think I can get through here relatively safely. Yes. And no idea what's going on over here. Oh, it looks like we need to get the skeletons to actually shoot the targets, which is fairly hilarious. So I suppose we're getting the skeleton to shoot and hit the target. Did that work? That did work. Okay. And got to get him to do it again. Oh, he got me. How did he get me? Oh my goodness. All right, let's try this again. This one's really fun. Well, I'm back at the double shooting skeletons with a golden carrot. And that's because I completely missed the fact that we get 4 golden carrots when we get up into the skeleton section of the pyramid, which is very cool indeed. Now, I'm trying to figure out exactly how this whole thing works. There's a lever up here, which I think was supposed to push, but that doesn't seem to really do anything. I think I'm supposed to get the skeletons to hit the target blocks with an arrow. And then when we raise the target blocks, the arrows will fall onto the pressure plates, and I think that's the way out. Okay, so we got to get these skeletons to shoot at us without hitting me in the face. Got to hit the target block. I think that one completely missed. Yes, it did. Oh my goodness. Okay, this skeleton is very accurate. You know, this exercise reminds me that sometimes in life, we have to let things take shots at us. There are some things we just can't avoid in the shots to the face department. And, well, in this case, it's an arrow. So, yeah, back to the beginning we go. You know, another thing that these skeletons are reminding me is that life comes with a lot of RNG involved. There are very many moments in life where we have no choice but to roll the dice, and sometimes the skeletons are going to hit the targets, and sometimes they're going to hit you in the face. There we go. I think I did a thing. That opens a door. Yes, it does. Oh, we are through. Absolutely amazing. I'm so happy. That took so long. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, well, I guess we're heading up into the next part of the pyramid. I've not been to this bit before. And it looks like we have a little respite, a little rest. Love and belonging at layer 3 of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Throughout the layer, you will see several foxes. Step lightly, gain their trust, and add to your family by breeding them with available berries. Make it official with the name at the name tag station, then reverse Santa and up you go. So, what we're doing here? I suppose we are trying to make some babies, I guess, and at the same time, we have an opportunity to stock up on some berries ourselves in case we need them for further on in the run here. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure how to get foxes to breed, but I suppose starting a family in life is not as easy as just handing over some berries to some foxes. And have we got an official baby wren? We do. Name tag station is over here. Excellent. We'll name our fox indeed. And I guess we'll call the little fox Little Rendog. There we go. He's going to grow up to be a famous rapper. But yes, a very interesting exercise indeed. A reminder to us all of how incredibly rewarding and amazing it is to have a family. And I suppose also a reminder of how starting a family in this life requires a lot of patience and a lot of dedication and a lot of love. And when all of those things come together, magic happens. Well, as I try and find my way out of this final section of the pyramid, this whole process, and especially this room itself, has got me thinking quite a lot about my own life, because I think what Maslow's pyramid ultimately is suggesting is that once we are able to sort out the basics of our lives, our health and our survival, and then we're able to deal with the shelter and make sure that our lives are safe and secure. At this point, we get to achieve the ultimate prize at the very end of the chain of life, I suppose, which is family, friends, and ultimately young ones to take our lives forward into the future as we pass on. And certainly this makes me think a lot about my own life in that this step right here this step of a little Rendog and a family and all of that is one that is not a part of my own plan and not a part of my own life. And it's not something that I've really thought about that much recently, because I think many years ago I just sort of decided that I was going to pursue YouTube and streaming and not focus on any of the other things like family and getting married and all of those sort of things. And this was maybe over 10 years ago that I made this decision, and now 10 years later I stand in a pyramid made in Minecraft wondering whether or not my own path should change and whether or not, in fact, I am missing out on something very special in life, which is, well, people in my life that I can share all of this with. What is the point of going through this pyramid and going through all the pain and the restarts and the restarts and the pain and the pricking and the dying and the melting and the burning if there's nobody to share it with at the end? Huh. Very curious indeed, and certainly has me thinking about many, many things at this point. To the last step of the pyramid we go, I suppose, and yes, indeed, we've made it to the very top, with the Skizzleman ready to say something to us, and aha! There be my head, with my own lectern. Let's see what Skizz has to say.
Well, here you are. You've made it to layer 4. This layer of Maslow's pyramid assumes that while you're now taken care of from a physiological, a shelter and security, and even a love and belonging standpoint, you strive for more. Layer 4 is centered around esteem. Clearly stated, we're starting to realize that simply living and being a part of a family, group, or community is not quite enough. We want to know what separates us. What do others respect about us? More importantly, what do we respect about ourselves? Find your station and give a little read to your book. You'll notice a small passage I've included specifically about you. Your task is to add to this book. Think about it. What is something about you that you genuinely respect? Not an easy task for some. It's why layer 4 isn't exactly achieved by everybody. Keep in mind that this book is for your eyes only and anybody whom you wish to share it with. So, honor system here. Don't go reading everybody else's books. Once you've filled it out, do not sign it. Take it with you to the next layer. You're going to need it. Okay, now, parkour it is. I was able to do this, so it should be a walk in the park for you. Grab a handful of chicken in case you need it and get going.
All right. Well, very exciting to see what's in my book. And curious to get into the next start of this pyramid. But something really struck me when Skizz was talking about getting to this layer, which is all about the self. I guess for this pyramid to work, you need to have gone through all the other layers successfully, and I'm not 100% sure if I've actually made it through the belonging layer yet. The friends and family and belonging. I think that's a layer that I'm currently working on myself. I'm trying to be more social, and I'm trying to make some more meaningful connections and friendships. And certainly it's something that I personally lost during COVID, having spent a year and a half completely isolated and alone. I certainly lost touch with a lot of my friends and a lot of the people that were close to me. And even here on the HermitCraft server, I sort of lost the ability to hang out with people and spend time with them and build relationships with them as I fell more and more into self-isolation. And I wonder if some of you out there might feel the same, and perhaps together we can start working a little bit harder on cultivating and working on personal relationships and trying to complete this level of the pyramid below this one, the belonging and friendship and family bit, because I'm certainly lacking in that department, and I want to do some work on that. But yeah, let's get into the book and see what this is all about. Welcome to Layer 4, Esteem. This is the moment in life where we start to recognize that what separates each one of us from a respect standpoint can be one thing or many different assets in which you offer. While your task is to identify and write down what is you respect about yourself, or what about you that stands out. Esteem is not without a degree of understanding, or at least acknowledging what is that others respect about you. So while you mull it over regarding what it is, you would like to point out, let's first dive into what it is that sticks out to others. Rendog, the man whose mere presence makes everything better. Not many people can enhance an atmosphere by simply walking into a room. That is one of many aspects that makes you stand out. Words you need not, for true and genuine charisma is your language. And yet, humble you remain. This gift of yours is literally something that cannot be worked on. You have it or you don't. and you have it. Well, that certainly is a fascinating insight into my own self from someone else's perspective that I never considered. And there's a lot of I don't know if I believe it, but that certainly has taken me back a little bit. And I'm not 100% sure how to process that. Thank you, Skizz, for the extremely kind words. I guess, if anything, it's made me realize that perhaps my own personal self-esteem is quite low, because I don't believe that I am a person that walks into a room and makes it better. Personally, I feel that when I walk into a group of people, maybe there's like a bit of tension in the air. Like, I bring a sort of serious vibe along, which, I don't know, creates like a weird atmosphere or something. It truly is fascinating and mind-blowing when you hear the perspective of yourself shared from somebody else. And I'm going to need to take some time today really thinking about the words that Skizz wrote in this book. I'm going to have to go for a long walk, because I'm quite taken aback by it, and it was very kind of you to say, Skizz. Thank you for those very kind words. Yes, up to the top of the parkour we go, I suppose, and perhaps a moment to reflect on all of this, and perhaps a moment for all of us to think about how we feel others might perceive us. And perhaps, if you're a bit like me and perhaps you feel like others might perceive you negatively, maybe take this as a sign that actually maybe people don't see you in the way that you think they see you. And hopefully, with that in mind, we can all try feel a little bit better about ourselves and work on our self-esteem a bit, because, yeah, maybe things aren't as bad as we think. And I believe that was the last step, the last hop, the last skip out of the pyramid, or at least it feels like it. Click here if you have epidemic. I do.
Welcome to Self-actualization. Though experts today believe the number is higher, Abraham Maslow himself estimated that less than 1% of the human population reaches this level. This is the level one achieves when they have realized their fullest potential. This is what happens when you not only understand what you were put here to do, but you're actually doing it. Don't mistake it with the pinnacle of what you can be, but rather the pinnacle of what you should be, what you're supposed to be. Have another think and add a new page to your book titled Why I'm Here. Write down what it is you think you're supposed to be doing at your very peak of existence. Some of you may feel you're already doing it today. For the sake of this exercise, feel free to express what you imagine your perfect role in this world is. As you can imagine, there is no right answer. Once you've written it down, sign your book to lock it in. Then, the leap of faith. Step into the drop. Once launched, trust the power of belief and land on top of the pyramid before making your way down. Thank you for taking a journey through Maslow's pyramid.
Well, I guess here we are at the most difficult part of this process, answering the question, what should I be doing in this life? And this is often a question I ask myself all the time. As I am not a family man, I've often wondered if the path that I've taken is actually ending up anywhere with value. And if I had a family, and if I had had children, of course, as a father, I would have had a very clear objective in my life, which would be to give my family the best possible life I could. But without that in my life, what other things should I be focusing on? And, well, one of the conclusions that I've come to over the last couple of years is that I am able to use my skills to provide people with something that they can use to enhance their own lives. Through my videos and streams, I am able to provide others with a short respite from what might be going on in their own lives. A place to come and just disappear for a little bit. Not to run away from problems or issues, just to be able to spend a bit of time recovering and getting ready to face challenges again after a couple of hours of derping around on a server somewhere. Now, whether or not this service that I provide has any value at all is something that I have no way of quantifying, but I believe that if I can do this to the best of my ability, and if I'm able to help just one person deal with what might be going on in their own life, I think I'm providing something valuable to the world, and perhaps that's where I should really be focusing. After some amount of time pondering this very curious question that Skizz has posed before me, I think I'm happy with this sentence. I'm going to endeavor to use my skills to enhance the lives of others by entertaining, teaching, and community building. And though it's quite a short sentence, I think it covers pretty much everything that at this point in my life I want to achieve. Though I chose not to be a family man and dedicate all of my energy and my love to building a family and making sure that they have everything that they might need, I think that same energy applies here. And all that really matters is that I'm using my skills to enhance the lives of others, whether that be kids and a wife, or that be you guys out there that watch my videos and my streams and find value in them. I think the energy for both of these things is exactly there. And perhaps with that in mind, I can provide myself with a life worth living, which I wish I could call this book, but I can't. There we go. Challenges at every point in the pyramid. A life worth living by me, and one that I am going to do my best to pursue. A big thank you to Skizz for this incredible experience. It's been quite something. It's taken me about 3 hours or so to get through this today, and I will certainly be thinking a lot about many, many things off the back of this pyramid. It certainly made me think a lot about my own life and what I potentially should be doing. And even though I've been relatively aware of all of these things over the last 5 or 6 years or so, it's very easy to forget them as you get trapped up in your own life and things that are going on around you, and sometimes quite easy to forget about the priorities, the things that really matter in the pyramid of our lives. Anyway, that's going to do it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me, and those of you who are still here at the end of this video, I do appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video where, well, I hope I can bring some joy and some happiness and some enhancement to your lives, because that's what I'm on this earth to do.